So hello and welcome to the Centre for Computing History. We're going back to 1983 to one of my favourite machines. So in front of me here is the Atari 600 XL, and I just can't tell you how much I love this little micro. Its little form factor, of course it partners the Atari 800 XL. This one is an awful lot smaller. I just love the profile of it. Smaller at the front, it's smaller at the back. The reason for that being, it's only 16K. The Atari 800, of course, is 64K. So we're celebrating its 40th anniversary. We'll be doing that a lot this year. There's an awful lot of machines came out in 1983. But this one comes from a redesign of the original Atari 400, which of course was a gigantic machine with a membrane keyboard. And then it had its big brother, the Atari 800, which was even bigger, but with a proper keyboard. The original had 2 slots in it, so you could open up a little drawer. You would put your basic cartridge in one side and your game cartridge in the other. This one has actually got basic built into the ROM. As you can see, it's on its ready screen here. So type on its very good keyboard. Press reset. The idea of the redesign basically was down to Commodore and their scorched earth price policies that were going on at the time. They had decided to take revenge on Texas Instruments for raising the cost of their calculators, basically, by holding on to components. I think that was the idea. And so Commodore decided to get a bit of revenge in the home computer market. So the prices started coming down enormously. Then Texas Instruments had to cut their prices. And Atari, God bless them, they got caught up in it. And they were building these huge machines, the 800 and the 400. So they really needed to redesign the machine to make it an awful lot cheaper. And the 600 and the 800 were the result. If we go around the machine here, we've got the 2 joystick ports on the side. On the back here is the peripheral socket. And basically, the idea of that is you've got one type of lead and it plugs into there. So you've got a lead, you can plug your disk drive in, you can plug your tape drive in, and you can even daisy chain them together. So you've got both your disk drive and tape drive connected at the same time. On the back here, with its usually missing cover, is the parallel bus for printers, etc. Going along further, we've got the RF socket for your normal TV. That's what we'd have used back in 1983. And here is the much better RGB video socket, the power socket, and then of course the power switch. On the top here is now the single cartridge slot. That's all you need, as the basic is built in. You've got the buttons here, so you reset the computer. You've got your option button, which you hold down to load your disk drives. I believe you hold down, select an option, I could be wrong here, release 1 to load cassettes. This is your start button for your games, and then some games have got very helpful and utilities have very helpful help features, so you just press the help button. And as I say, this was just magnificent. It was solidly built. It is incredibly heavy. It's comparable to the weight of the 800 XL. It's full of metal shielding to get around the FCC regulations in America, and I think they just carried on building it the same and just changed the tuner for the PAL version. Right, so these weren't the last redesign, of course, where Jack Tramiel was ousted from Commodore. He bought Atari. It became Atari Corporation from the Warner-owned Atari, and the machine was redesigned again. So they became the 65XE, which had 64K of RAM, and then the 130XE, which had 128K. And again, they were moderately successful. The Atari ST was out by that time. They were styled to match the Atari ST, and they sold moderately. They're really good, the XE models though. They can be expanded greatly with memory. You can add up to, I think, something like 356 or even into 1 meg, I can't remember which it is, of memory, so they can be expanded really well. And then there was one final machine, which was the Atari XEGS, which was a console type machine. And it had a detachable keyboard. When you took the keyboard off, it went into console mode, and you plug the keyboard back in, and it would bring up the basic as usual. You still plug all the other peripherals in, like disk drives and tape drives, into all these models. And the Atari 8-bits had one of the longest lives of any micro. So introduced in 1979 with the 800 and the 400, all the way up, finally discontinuing the XEGS in 1992. Another reason why I love this machine so much, it's got a lot of nostalgia for me. I used to go around my friend's house. His name was Craig. You might remember me, Craig, if you're still around the St Ives area. I used to go around his house a lot just to play on this machine. Me and Craig spent far too much time on this. We'd put an Ultravox record on in the background, and just absolutely great times. And the Atari machines were really, really good at recreating these early arcade machines, as we will now ably demonstrate. Okay, so we're going to put our first cart in. This is the one that Craig first put in his machine and switched on, and there is just this wonderful moment right at the start. So the Atari, despite the hardware dating from 1979, was really very advanced for the time, and it took quite a while to supersede it well into the 1980s. A really good sound chip, good graphics capabilities, and in fact I do believe the hardware was the basis for the 5200 console. So here we are, we've got Defender. One player easy. It's going to have to be easy because I haven't played it in an awful long time. So yeah, we've got the machine here, so we're going to press the start button to start the game, and off we go. So what have I got to do here? Well, I've got to stop all these nasty aliens from stealing the little humanoids at the bottom of the screen here, and I've already lost a life, so that's not great. I could blame the joystick, but I'm not going to. So yes, the old Atari joystick, it's a classic, but it is a little bit on the stiff side. So, but you can't use anything else with an Atari. So, right, that's the first attack wave completed. Now here's where things get a bit more interesting. So we've got new types of aliens coming down, and they're dropping all kinds of mines and things. So if I stop talking for a minute, it's pure concentration. So I've just shot a couple of my own people. Oh no. Wow. Game over. Now you don't see big explosions on your screen like that anymore. Shall I have another go at that? Absolutely not. Okay, so one thing that the Ataris are famous for is a game called Star Raiders. So this came out and became the real killer app for this computer, which was a bit of a problem for Atari at the time because they didn't want killer app games on their computers. They were business machines. You were going to do your spreadsheets and things on them, and they wanted games kept to their Atari console, the VCS. The big problem with that is they did release Star Raiders on the VCS, but it wasn't nearly as good. So this game, also, I remember playing for the first time and being absolutely blown away by stars coming at me. And but because we were always playing Defender, I didn't actually get to play it an awful lot until a while later. Now I think I've just got to shoot these funny little things. Absolutely amazing sound effects again. And I'm playing this on novice. If I was playing it on something a bit higher, it'd be an awful lot more exciting than it currently is. I think I've got about 12 of these to take out or something. And the great thing is, you get shot once, and that's your lot. So let's see if I can do a bit better. Start it off again. There's going to be people out there laughing at my performance here, but or especially now. Yeah, so it was the game to have on your machine. If you had an Atari 8-bit computer, you were going to have Star Raiders. Okay, on to our next one. So we are now, how could we not have an Atari computer and not try Missile Command? So here we are. So we're going to start off. And this is a lot easier with the trackball controller. So the trackball controller, you can whiz around the screen, take out these missiles coming towards your bases, and this does get really quite frenetic quite quickly. And again, very, very, very good arcade conversion. So that was good. nothing got hit. Let's take out that. And it's one of those games where you start playing it, you think, oh, I'm good at this, until you get to about the 4th or 5th level when it absolutely starts annihilating you. Wave 2, nice and easy, there we go. All the bases saved again, lots and lots of points. Okay. Here's another. And of course, I think we might have done a video on Missile Command before. Of course, this was at a time in the 1980s when we were all very, very scared in the Cold War of nuclear attacks. So that would have really added to the tension back in the 1980s. And have I got them all? I haven't. Panic sets in. There we go. Right, okay. So onwards we go. Still got all my bases, so I'm doing okay. But just like real interballistic or intercontinental ballistic missiles, they start splitting warheads all over the place. And I'm about to lose my first city. Oh no, I didn't take out that either up there. But this is a cracking conversion. Later machines like the Atari XEGS, which is like a console version of this machine, with a detachable keyboard, actually has this game built in. And so it should. Right, I can't take the destruction anymore, so let's swap to our next one, which is Space Invaders. So, Space Invaders, it's got all kinds of different modes in it. So this one I do like. So out come the Space Invaders from a giant mothership. And again, I think this is quite close to the Atari 5200 version, I believe. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, no doubt. There'll be people only too eager to do so. So, again, it's another one where you think, oh, this is quite easy. But now here come, they're going to start acting like normal Space Invaders now. And speeding up. It's all right, they're still relatively high up. Can I clean this wave out? Let's see if I can. Oh! Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, that was lucky. And there we go. Now, as you can see, the mothership has come down a little bit. So, I've got less time to take out the alien waves. I think the way to do it now is to take out the lower ones, so I've got more time to react later on. I've got no... Oh, wow. That was clumsy. Oh, they're getting faster already. These early arcade machines, absolutely hard as nails, a lot of them. So make sure you lost as many 10p's in the arcades as possible. It's what made these home versions so vitally important to the gamer. I'm going to die. Wow, I think the aliens are going to land. Yes, they have. So, sorry mankind, I have killed us all. Right, let's move on to the next one. It's another really good arcade conversion, this one. We are playing now Galaxian. And here we go. A lovely sound effects. I just love this machine so much. This particular Atari 600, not that it matters with cartridges terribly much, is actually been upgraded to 64K from the 16K. It basically means adding a couple of wires, cutting a couple of pins on and some chips, and then replacing the memory chips. A bit harder to do now, as the memory chips that you have to swap in are getting a little bit rare. But it does mean that this is effectively now an Atari 800 internally. But due to some memory mapping problems, it does have some incompatibility with larger games. So Am I going to be able to take out this entire wave? With my skills today, who knows? I think, oh, I'm nearly there. Ah, yes! It's the first time in a long time I've played this that I've completed a wave. So now it starts getting a weeny bit tricky. Oh, wow. I'm not using the fire as efficiently as I can, so the ones swooping down the screen, if I was to take on those, I would be firing far more often. I might get another wave here. No, I'm gone. Right, let's use that one life bit to go on to the next one, which is kind of a little bit of a puzzle game. Is it Kikstart? I think that's how you pronounce it. And I'm not usually terribly good at this, but we'll have a go. So basically, I've got to fill the entire screen with a solid colour, which, yeah, you might think, oh, that's nice and easy. Oh, that was okay. Oh dear, without getting hit by these, whatever they are, alien things. Area covered, 46%. Right, okay. Crikey, it rubs it in that you've died, doesn't it? Oh, okay. Now, you're not allowed to let them touch your line without you reaching safety, so it's a reasonably tricky little game. So, oh wow, touched my line again. I'm not playing this very well, but I do like it a lot. Okay, it's game over. I'll have another go at that because that was shocking. So you've got to make sure to draw well away from the line there. And the longer you take, the more little funny creatures come along. Oh, wow. You got me there. Again, it's just got that particular trademark sound effects from its chip. It's very, very good. I like it a lot. Okay. So, oh, have I reached the 75%? I have. I've actually completed something there. Wow. Ah, he's got me. Right, okay, less of that one. And we can have a look at how can I turn on an Atari and not have one of my favourite games of all time, River Raid. So, written by Carol Shaw, and basically vertical scrolling shoot 'em up. Got to collect fuel to keep going, take out bridges, ships, helicopters, all kinds, and it's just got that epitome of one more go feeling for it, and the fuel goes down surprisingly quickly. Take out the bridge. Well done. There we go. Keep going. Oh, and then fly straight into a helicopter. That was rubbish. Okay. You can go faster. I choose not to. Because you use more fuel, and secondly, you do tend to crash into things a lot more. Whoops, shot the fuel there. You can shoot the fuel. Oh, like that. That was... Had one eye on that helicopter. Take out the tank on the bridge. Absolute classic. Whoa, okay. I always stop talking when I'm playing this game because I just get a little bit wrapped up in it. So in fact, if I don't want to sit here all day, I'm going to have to change out of that. We're just going to try one more game here. And this is in tribute to the great Archer McLean, who passed away recently and did some very, very good games. And we are going to try one of his best. So we're going to have a go at Drop Zone. Now Drop Zone, it is a Defender clone, so we'll leave this where we started. And here we go. So we've got our little Jetman here. You can collect all these little pieces here, take out these very, very, very similar looking aliens to Drop Zone, but it's actually a little bit more exciting than Drop Zone. So you've got a bit of collecting to do. You've got to collect these little pods up and get them into this area here, whilst avoiding these aliens that are flying at you. I don't even see what killed me there. Fast and frenetic, I think we could say this is. So just have another little fly around here. There is one particular, much like Defender, there's a little alien that, yeah, here he is. And he's just as fast as, and very hard to hit. Oh, I just avoided him. How about that? No, he's got me. So, Archer McLean's great Drop Zone there. Okay, so that's the Atari 600 XL, one of my little favourites. One of about 1,000 machines we hold here at the museum. It's actually not normally on display. We've got the Atari 800 out, but one of our gaming nights, this might be out for one of you to see. I hope you've enjoyed our little video today. Do consider following our Patreon. Hit that like button and don't forget to take a look at our other YouTube channels. And come and visit us here in Cambridge if you can. We've got so much to see and do. Keep an eye on our website for our events, including school workshops, etc. And we hope to see you soon. Thanks very much and goodbye.